So we'll just get going on session 26 or 25 right now. Okay,
I'm
so
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
no,
your start on that.
it's
I
good.
wanted to just give you a heads up that that was something that
Sure.
I had on my mind.
But
So
we'll from what information the locals have on what Byron's been able to pull together and stuff, they don't know a heck of a lot about the Vyortovians because they've never actually dealt directly with the Vyortovians, simply because, and only rarely with the family when they were back home, and never, as the family of some, knowing them as some extra dimensional, blah 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 blah. They were just a death cult or a catastrophe cult or a apocalyptic something or other.
Cult.
Yeah, cult that they randomly would tangle with, along with 55 others of various organizational prowess. Um, what they've been able to gather over here is that these guys were legitimately part of the sort of the royal family or royal bloodline of Vyortovia, and took it upon themselves to go to somehow they came to the knowledge of this other place, um, what you think of as home, and decided that they were going to go there and set about, you know, their nefarious deeds. And that apparently was hundreds of years ago. So they were the whatever settling generational ship, the the faster than light speed, like a
the
sat.
Forerunners.
Yeah, they were the forerunners, or the agents of field, because it's not really like they're going and terraforming before the regular generation ships go there. They're going there to kill everything, sort of, or collapse everything. They're there to, you know, it's a dimensional version of sort of a blood sacrifice, kind of, in that it'll, you know, um, so there's that. So as near as you can tell, and you'll have to tell me. I'm not making you roll on anything for this because I honestly don't know how hard this hits you. I think you have to sort of determine that yourselves. But no, you're not. You're from here, or you're not from here, but your bloodline is
Sepia.
as near as you can tell is yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Sepia.
that's just sort of confirming what
Yeah, yeah, but
was implying, but I would want to kind of
honestly,
that our lineage diverged and left this place,
yeah, they were sent to field. They volunteered to do this and be separated from whatever. And you got to kind of question a little bit what kind of I mean, it's a sacrifice, but at the same time, they get to go to the place that doesn't suck and live like kings in Patagonia for a couple hundred years while they make this all happen.
yeah. Yep.
So it's a sacrifice, but you know, not so much a one. Not quite as much of one. It's a little bit.
I'll be curious to see what the descendants, who aren't in on the gig, feel about having their world collapsed. Their world collapsing, since it's
Well,
you live here enough generations, it becomes your world, not
right,
not
right.
the
It
world.
depends on to what degree they remain fanatics. Um, you don't know that you weren't necessarily going to be indoctrinated in it. There's no real indication that they were focusing solely on the men. That wouldn't follow. I mean, Vyortovia is led by the Dread Queen. Certainly, it's not like only men can do this, so we're not going to tell the girls what's going on. But somehow, you didn't know about this.
Yep.
Although, I will say this, hanging around Jason as much as you do, as much as you have in the last couple of hours, you can't help but let there be a little niggling worm of doubt of like, do I not remember? Or in dying and coming back, am I just not remembering or choosing not to remember? Have I blanked this out? Am I in denial? Did
Well, I mean, and let's be real. I mean, sitting in Link's brain with the the chip in his brain and looking at it from a different angle,
Yeah.
and having Jason be in my brain and looking at things from a different angle. We should all be ripe for reevaluating our own sense of self. Let's just say.
You definitely have to a certain extent, wonder if you're not something of an unreliable narrator with regards to your own life. You already don't remember a lot about the old days. You remember, you have impressions, you have some memories, but the closer things get to when you died, um, the less detail that is, and that could be the situation. It could be something that the magus did. It could be a lot of different things. So who knows? You certainly don't seem to have all the pieces personally, and either you weren't involved in this, brought into it, or although the magus did say you weren't part of this, and he, of
Yeah.
anybody, would probably know. So, or he's an inveterate liar. Both of these things can be true at the same. Why not both?
Oh, on that note, Concord, until your dad messes with your mind and reality, you're demoted. The rest of us,
yeah. You don't get commander stripes till your family is truly personally screwing with you.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So
I guess I'm good on that front then.
yeah, well, yeah, your family.
Yeah, and except for the whole, your dad kind of signed off on the whole Hecate disappearing Iceland
Yeah,
Iceland kind of thing.
I think he was saying that I'm okay to be in the commander circle because my family screwed with my head. I mean,
we have standards on this team.
Yeah,
but no more than families usually screw with their kids' heads. I mean,
I don't know if global mind control counts as like typical for a Wednesday afternoon, very special after school special. I mean,
maybe in Halcyon City.
It's just another Wednesday in Halcyon City. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's something that you're definitely working on while that's going on. What have I got? Oh, cancel that. Where's my little notes? I gotta need my notes. Where's my notes? So that's definitely something, and Numina certainly makes her excuses more than a few times just to not be around, unless it's looking like somebody really needs her around. She's taking breathers during portions of this. Not as much as you might expect, or you might sort of cynically expect, because she does have a natural curiosity for the stuff. She does have a driving curiosity for the stuff. And frankly, she has a lot of good observations to bring to the table, and putting two and two together. And if this is true and that's true, and so on and so forth, they might, actually, it's really Numina that is the first one that makes sort of, well, they must be in communication, because that would explain why this, it's certain, and probably to an certain extent might have certainly fed into why Hecate seems to think so poorly of you. All due respect, Dr. Quinn.
All due respect.
Yes.
She says with a smile and wide eyes.
As Leo has commented in the threads, I'm really impressed that what was it, Doctor? What was it?
Dr. Douchebag.
Yeah, she's doing really well not to refer to him as Dr. Douchebag at any point in time. But
and Leo would be like, with all due not respect.
All doesn't respect. All right. So that has been going on for quite some time, and probably I think we can the easiest segue to, I know, at least one confrontation that's coming up is the conversation about, because Byron is being Byron, and he's not.
He's getting his equilibrium back, so.
And he's not owning. He's owning as much as he's probably ever owned any truly colossal fuck up. If you'll pardon, this is why I have the explicit tag on my iTunes podcast after it was reviewed by someone. But I mean, he's only
Adult language.
yeah, adult language.
Tisk,
Tisk tisk. So
Language, young man.
so he'll own that stuff as much as he owns anything, but he really is trying to. He's the whole bit where he's rattling off like, well, this would be required. It needs some sort of memory bolus and blah 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 blah, all that sort of thing. That probably leads itself to a pretty good segue into talking about Alycia, and that sort of thing, because I mean, it's kind of funny, and there's a certain amount of satisfaction in him saying things like a sort of mnemonic programming, which of course doesn't exist because I just made it up, and you like, no, you didn't, Dad.
And if Jason needs support in this argument, by the way, like he's being backed up by somebody who inherited all the memories of somebody who literally cloned somebody's brain and made new people. So Summer will be happy to shut him down on any points where he's less than accurate.
And if you're so inclined, and we don't need to actually go through all the verbiage of it, but it's enough for between the two of you, you were actually personally mentally lectured by Alycia in a flashback on mnemonic programming far more extensively than the little 3.5-minute thing that I put in Plotagon. And it's all there at your fingertips. And between that knowledge and the fact that Alycia is probably the one that is good at it because she did it to you, why by apparently having you watch what she was doing by walking around a warehouse for a month, and the fact that as Leo says, what Numina can speak at length about what the technology that would be required for that sort of victory merge, and the fact that they have that in a briefcase immediately handy. And that, obviously, but Numina can go on at some length to the point where Byron gets this kind of like sort of annoyed hand-waving thing that he does when he's in the room with other smart people and they start to go down a rabbit hole that he's not as well versed in. It's not that he can't keep up, but he's not going to remember this stuff. Kind of a thing. It's how he gets to always pretend to be the smartest guy in the room. To be fair, he often is.
But he does redefine the room as need be.
And Summer will be happy to concede that he's the smartest guy in the room.
Okay.
About some things, but I like.
Jason looks vaguely hurt.
I like that though, that he likes to be the smartest guy in the room and will freely redefine the term room as needs be. That is yeah.
Greatest left-handed Dave in all of room.
Yes, that's what my fencing instructor in college used to say. The greatest left-handed Dave in all of room.
Very nice. Very nice.
It was just greatest Dave in all of room until Dave Sutherland joined the class, and then all of a sudden I became the greatest left-handed Dave in all of room.
I see. That's very nice.
Herzold, who was on the 1928 Hungarian Olympic team.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yes, everything you think he is, and more.
I imagine a Central European fencing master teaching your fencing class, and it's everything, yes, that you would think it would be.
It's not that hard to. It's not that hard to imagine Kaylee's.
And the octogenarian,
oh yes.
Slapping, just casually taking down anybody,
Yeah, he's sitting there drilling with you and commenting on the fencing style of everybody in 3 lanes in either direction. Wow. Moving right along.
No, it's good. It reminds me actually a great deal of Kaylee's swim coach up until about a year ago, because he was from Eastern European country, and no, you're not understand. Just get out of the water. I don't want to watch you. Get out of the water and watch the children who understand, and then you can get back in. But not until you can explain it to me. Just get out. It's annoying to watch you right now. It's really something else. Why? Maybe Harry muted himself. Okay.
She's slower than my grandma, and she's dead.
And he's talking to 10 and 11-year-olds. It's great stuff.
Me?
Where is? Oh, I see. All right.
Something about me?
No, you were showing up as muted in Discord, and I was just concerned. All right, so yeah. Anyway, in any case, this sort of segues into the whole conversation about Alycia. So, what's your, whether I need to go talk to her. I need to touch base on this. Have you even talked to her about what she's doing here?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I don't know.
So what has Alycia told you so far?
Nothing. She's in custody.
Just smirking.
She's in custody. I mean, it honestly gobsmackingly doesn't seem to have occurred I mean, they're not gobsmacked, you are. It doesn't seem to have occurred to them to question her.
Well, because she's just a child, like you, dear.
That may be it.
Let's be real, Or he's got his own, memory haze going on. Who knows?
So Alycia Chin, the daughter of your nemesis and your past and present foe, shows up, looks over at Charlotte, assuming she's still in the room, flipping through books.
At this point, anybody
easily captured, and you throw her in a cell, and you don't bother to ask her any questions about why she's here or what she's doing, or why, as you pointed out earlier, she has Quill nanobot technology.
Well, we wondered that, obviously. And Byron's like more annoyed with you than, I see what you're saying, Jason, but you really don't need to take that sort of tone. Meanwhile, Rusty is like visibly working his hand across his chin and over his mouth. Like, no, he's got a point. He actually has several points. And Byron and him kind of give each other a bit of a look, and I'm gonna go check on the guards. I'm just gonna go check on the guards. Jason, I kind of.
A flash of concern goes across Jason's face as he sort of follows Rusty's logic here.
Well, he's just, I mean, that's the first thing he's going to check, certainly. But he's making excuses, but he's troubled about something. But you're not sure if it's the obvious thing or something else. It's interesting. Well, in any case, I mean, how much use could she really be? I mean, she hasn't been in contact with Chin for 2 years. She can't know what he's up to.
Right, and so you're throwing her in a cell because
you know how to just come across here without even damaging the barrier?
Well, I'm assuming that
she did a better job than Jason.
I'm assuming that she borrowed that. Well, let's be realistic about that. In all seriousness, I mean, she borrowed the tech from my son. And the unspoken bit there is he borrowed the tech from me. But I mean, but yeah, it's really weird. He seems weirdly blinkered about this.
You mean like maybe Chin pulled a clout on him, or just
you can't well, I don't know, Chin would have done, but it's you honestly can't decide if it's You honestly don't know if it's something weird or if it's just him being randomly dismissive of.
With his dad being a dick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the effects of this dimension are catching up with him.
It could either. I mean, that can't not be
The
something.
reduction in flexibility and thinking.
Even with a Keynome in the basement.
Even with the Keynome in the basement.
How many doors away from Alicia's cell is that Keynome?
Well,
asking for a friend.
she's been mentioned several times being down below, and the Keynome was certainly underground when it was on the other side. So, and
I need to.
DC was like riddled with DC's always been rumored of being like riddled with tunnels.
Tunnels and secret
close,
passages.
no.
Yeah.
Close, no, but Google Maps could get you from one to the other without having to tell you need to take a ferry.
Right. Dad, I'm going to need to talk with her before I take her out of here.
What do you mean before you take her out of here? Where are you going to take her?
You are
That would be
so grounded, Jason.
Where are you going to take her that's going to be any more secure than where we are?
Back to our universe.
Why on Earth? What could you possibly accomplish back there?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe saving my life? Or maybe just restoring my memories. I mean, is either of those of any value here?
Oh, don't take that tone. I understand what was done. I understand what you're saying. There's no need to be snide about it.
Oh, yeah. Snide is clearly an inappropriate reaction to having memories stripped from me and suffering from a progressive
it's fair to say dementia.
Cognitive dissociation and dementia based on technology that was put on me ostensibly for my own protection. Yeah, I'm snide. I mean, geez, where do I come off to being that?
And don't forget your father dismissing your ideas after having been on your own for 2 years. And
the nanites are protecting you. The problem here was with a bit of extra code that I added at the last minute. It's essentially a rounding error. I mean,
around Jason out of existence.
Rounding errors simplify things so much.
Your consciousness is only approaching zero, Jason. It'll never actually reach it. I mean, the math is clear. He's very resistant to this and honestly, damnably so, to be perfectly honest.
That sounds like it's time to look at a game mechanic.
Yeah, it's kind of sounds. We're looking at promote. I like James' thing. This is why teachers tell you not to round while you're in the middle of the math. Yeah, because your soul might be sucked out through nanobots. I don't know if that's precisely why they say it, but it's a good example.
It's you take your lessons where you can get them.
Yeah. It's really, really
good. Decimals rounded down or decimals lost.
Yeah, my math teacher is definitely not teaching us anything.
I would like to.
What we're looking for is provoke, unless you want to figure out what the heck's going on with your dad.
Well, I was actually focused on trying to get the.
Or you can just go full.
What is Rusty doing with all of this?
Well, Rusty's gone off to check the guards. With a worried look on his face.
Rusty got himself out of the room for a bit. I mean, or you just go moment of truth and just Akira your way through the building until you get to Alycia. I mean, that's always an option.
I'm not quite at that point yet, but thank you for the suggestion.
It's always on the table. I mean.
Yeah,
including the Akira comparison. So,
oh, good. Yeah, I would like to. Come on. Yeah, my Pierce the Mask is better than my Superior at this point, but it may be time to go ahead and go in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Honestly, I mean, can I be? If I can
You
be,
could get punched in the superpowers.
if I can get totally meta about this, you could get punched in the superpowers. If I can get totally meta, I'm sorry, was that a dig on your GM for punching you in the superpowers? It's true.
I never thought I'd have to explain to somebody how I got punched in the superpowers, but it happened.
When you externalize it as a ball and put it hanging in the air in front of a Supergirl in the middle of a park, she's going to try to knock it out of that park. That's just going to happen. If I can
if you give a burger cookie,
if I can be totally meta about it, you need 2 more XP so you can get the advance that lets you face off against Alycia and not die. So really, I mean, rolling bad stats is probably the best thing for you at this point.
But if you want to succeed, you have 2 things going for you. First is you have at least one character here who can spend team, and if Charlotte hasn't totally run off, you have the second.
Yeah,
that's true.
If you have given influence to Summer, and it sounds kind of like you have from your write-ups.
Yeah.
God, if I haven't, I certainly should have by now.
There's the possibility that she can briefly tell you who you are, and you know what she has said before, which is you should trust yourself. And that to me sounds like a boost to Superior.
Right. So, yeah, and although it does beg the question as to whether or not, well, I mean, Bill may have to give me some input on this, and certainly Margie can. It also begs the question as to whether or not the 2 people who can help you would help you go talk to Alycia.
She would. After hearing all this, yes.
Yeah, that's fair. Certainly, if nothing else, just to spite Byron.
I can give you good and logical reasons, but I think it rolls up to she would trust Jason with Alycia more than she would trust Byron with Alycia.
Yeah.
And it's really not Alycia and Byron alone. It's Alycia or it's Jason or Byron with Alycia.
And also, I mean, there's the question of Jason closure, but also, I mean, it must be said that somewhere on the list exists the spite Byron Quill bullet point.
There's a top 10 and it's in there, yeah.
It's in the pro column somewhere. Anyway, you can certainly, I would roll Superior for that. I would say it's a provoke.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do. So let's have at it, Dad.
Indeed.
There we go.
Oh, how bad is it? Oh, God.
You should listen to me.
Okay, all right. I prepared for this eventuality. Okay, so.
Wow, that's called getting hit in your superpowers.
Well, to be fair, his provoke is not really his superpower right now.
Yeah, that's still a crappy roll.
I was gonna say, why is he at -1? But he's at -1 because that's
my superior is -1.
He's bad at superior. Okay, I know what to do with this. From a story point of view, that's not going to be a problem. So if you want to let it ride, I am not at a loss for what comes next. You know, you're not going to earn any social brownie points with Dad, but the play will go on for sure. And
in other words, versus like trying to get a team from both Nuna and Charlotte.
Yep,
and
but that's only gets you to a 6, right?
Yeah.
No, if I get one, can I get more than one team from more than one person?
You can get a team from a person.
Okay, so that only gets me to 6. That really doesn't do anything.
In theory, there's probably some argument for the team and a label shift or something like that. Rusty actually, ironically, wants to shift your superior up anyway because he's noting that you are now a much harder man than he remembers. As a compliment, he means it as a compliment.
No, I would take it actually as a compliment if he said it to me, even if I would kind of like,
Yeah, but I think at this point we let it ride and we go where we go.
if I end up in shackles on the wall next to Alycia, that maybe that accomplishes the purpose.
Mission accomplished.
And Jason discovers a new fetish.
So,
Oh God.
what do you mean discovers? It's like you're acting as though he hasn't been chained to a wall with Alycia before. He may not remember it.
Oh no, there was that incident in Amsterdam at the brothel. Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. I forgot that you mentioned that one before.
I
All right.
have.
Jesus. Okay. So I see the thing is, and this is why it's going to fail. It's not actually you. I want to hear your argument, or your statement, or your declarative statement, or whatever. Before I proceed.
okay. And I'm going to keep it simple because Jason has been clearly kind of bubbling with anger and frustration throughout this entire long
day
conversation.
I think for about 2 years now.
Not to mention like the last 2 years.
But especially the last 2 weeks, and certainly the last 2 days,
and particularly the last 2
2 hours.
Well, maybe 2 hours. I hope it hasn't been going on for 2 hours, but the last
time
two quarter hours. God damn it, Dad!
Perfect.
I am dying. I've had my memories raped from me by you. I came here to save Charlotte. I came here to find you. But I came here to find Alycia too, and you're not going to stand in my way.
And he stands there just shocked, honestly, for a few seconds, and you see the anger in him, and the effrontery, and the sheer cheek of the boy, bellowing. About to begin, and he's not much of a bellower, your dad, but certainly seems to be coming, and honestly probably would have already started were it not for the fact that there are people in the room and other people.
Jason always Byron always has to be the calm, superior one in the room.
Yes, especially when there's witnesses. But he still. You see that particular barrier dissolving, and a klaxon buzzer thing starts going off. You can't imagine it's anything but the original like fire alarm, like
for the building.
That's been rewired because there's like an amber, like sort of a star-shaped amber light above the doorway that starts flashing on and off, and that
actually answers the question because I couldn't remember whether we'd seen any indication where they had electrical power.
They do have power, and they're doing a number of things. Certainly a number of things with it. Okay, so this will certainly be a 6 result. Anyway, that goes off in this shock, and Byron quickly picks up a phone and says yes, listens for a second, swears, slams it down, and said, "Your damsel in distress just broke out of prison."
And this surprises you?
And we're going to cut to... see, the thing is, it does, and that's just plain weird. They didn't even search the backpack that she was wearing. Where was I? I'm going to go to Adam because I kind of know what's going on there. Adam, you are... It's been about an hour since your thing with Carrie, and probably about 6 or 7. When do you need to be home?
I need to be home at 7, 8 if there's an emergency.
So far, no emergency. It's about 6:45. You can easily get home in that period of time, and you have distracted yourself by talking to the guys long enough that it's not any distraction any longer. Where it is you talking to them and not you pointedly trying to ignore the person hovering in the park above you who isn't hovering there anymore and is gone. And you're kind of headed south unless you had someplace else you wanted to fly.
Oh no, I'm sure Adam right now is just like, maybe there'll be an emergency. Just like flying around hoping that he runs into something.
As opposed to going home? Why is that? Why is that? Is he just not wanting to go home right now, or is he afraid of the conversation he and his dad are going to have?
His dad saw Carrie with him earlier, and he does not want to answer those questions right now.
Especially now, because
before it was bad, now it's horrible.
That's perfect. All right, where I need to move the tab here. Let me get it someplace else here while Byron and Rusty look sternly at us from a Scooby-Doo guest appearance. That'll work. Okay. I could take that off there probably. Okay, so you're flying kind of home and you're meandering certainly, kind of hoping for something. So this is probably 2 or 3 hours after the pizza, or an hour and a half or so after the pizza, a couple hours after the exercise stuff. And you are kind of vaguely heading south by way of the, kind of not really near the high school, but sort of near enough that you decide to wander that general direction just because it's going to slow you down that much more on the way home. If that makes any kind of sense. Hopefully it does.
Makes perfect sense.
And let me see what we got here. Yeah, perfect. And as you're getting closer to the school, it's interesting that the school has got, all the school grounds have got like those vision blocking construction fences up.
Mm-hmm.
Just like since the thing this afternoon.
Well, that's oddly quick.
Yeah, especially since you guys weren't done until like 4.
And I was just with the City Works guys.
Well, that's technically a different part of the city. That's not this suburb, but yeah, I mean, it's not like they would have mentioned because they don't know what school you go to. But certainly there seems to be a fair amount of activity. They've got, stuff up from every which direction. And in fact, they have they've got it even up and around. They've got like there's like a scaffolding up around the school. And there's tarp on the scaffolding too. Like they've got the whole thing like cocooned up really kind of extensively.
That's odd.
Yeah, the place has got quite a lot of activity. They're at the front. I guess it would be the front gates now because there's a fence. You know how they lay that fence in, and it's just got the stands and whatnot. It's across like the driveways where you would pull in to drop off kids and stuff like that. So it's across there. And there's a couple of black and whites up there. They've got, they don't have flashers on, but they're parked there and they're out. They've got their little orange vests on. It seems weird. They don't really need to direct traffic, so they're just kind of milling around. There's just a couple of people there. So that's happening. There's also a fair amount of activity, but it doesn't seem to be any obviously construction stuff, but it is like setting up all the stuff, like all that stuff. So what do you do?
So I think this is a pointed time where it's like, get on the comms. Link, Harry, Otto, Numa, did anyone go back to school after the pizza stuff?
Nope.
Well, there's a lot of weird stuff going on there now. I'm gonna go take a look.
Well, call for backup if you need.
That's what Charlotte said.
It was tragic.
Some weird stuff happened. I need to, yeah.
We're gonna go investigate.
Okay. How are you just flying right into the thing? Are you gonna talk to the cops? Like, what does the investigation look like?
You know that scene from Spider-Man: Homecoming where he's trying to be intimidating and he doesn't know what to do with his arms? Imagine that, but in a friendlier manner, where it's just like,
You mean my favorite scene in Spider-Man: Homecoming?
where it's just sort of dropped down and it's just like, arms switching back and forth from being crossed to being on his hips, and it's like, evening, officers. What's going on?
It's got scratching at your head at one point, and now my question is, do you know these guys? Because you're in the right district. It could be you're in the right jurisdiction. It could be your dad's precinct. It would be your dad's precinct in this school.
It would be.
So do you know these guys?
Adam probably knows a lot of them. I don't know that he knows all of them, but he probably would know like guys who have, like some of the guys who have been around on the force for a few years.
Okay.
So
there's probably one of those that you're kind of vaguely sure is named Gonzalez, and you're fairly quickly reassured of that by the little name tag thing. The rest of them know, because these guys are getting they're getting sort of like, watch the construction crew work, tell people they can't pull up here and, do stuff in the middle of the evening, during the holiday kind of job. So it's clearly like a rookie kind of assignment. So that wouldn't be people that you were likely to have run into in the past. So you're coming down there and like, hello, officers. What? Crossing arms, uncrossing arms, hands behind back, gripping fist, floating, don't float. 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot off.
he's kind of self-conscious after this afternoon.
You think?
Just a bit.
No idea why that would be. Okay. So, and you're just asking him like kind of what's going on?
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, so I need do I have text? Yeah, I do. Look at that. You just do it. There we go. Oh, is that gonna work? Hi, Concord?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, we're just, didn't know you were patrolling down this way. We're just, we got assigned to, watch the place while they set up all their stuff. They're doing all the repairs on the thing from back when you guys saved the city during, the Christmas deal. All that stuff.
Well, that's kind of weird. We were doing training here earlier.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what they said that because you guys were coordinating with the precinct. Somebody at the precinct said that they were going to be working with us, and then once that was done, then apparently we were gonna, these guys were gonna move in and start their whole deal and get that stuff going and everything. So trying to get a sign up here on the side of the thing, and now it's not. No, let me grab it. There we go. Can we tip it?
Oh.
Do that? Maybe we can do it like that. Oh, that's about the right tip. Maybe? I don't know. I can't get the right angle. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Dave's groaning.
Yes.
Well, that's how we can know they're not real construction people. They can't put a sign up.
No, I'm not a real construction person. That's something else entirely.
As somebody who sees a street sign written in spray paint every day when he drives home,
wow, really?
This isn't unusual. Yep, the street numbers, it's great.
That's
anyway.
Awesome. We'll put it over here. It'll be better. right there. Here we go. Perfect. Yeah, so yeah, apparently right after you guys were done, we got the high sign. The construction crews, man, and they've just been, uh, man, they have been like ants in there. It's just been crazy.
So, Joyce, I have an important question for you.
Do you? Okay.
Uh, is this guy deceiving me?
You have that kind of, you would know that, right?
I kind of would know that. I mean, if you want me to like pierce the mask here, I'm
I-
all geared up for that one. Oddly enough,
No, I'm not even gonna make you push on this one because he's, I mean, especially with his
because
little,
he's kind of bad at it.
yeah, and he's not. This policeman is certainly not deceiving you. This is the real deal. You guys, they were informed that it was time to. I mean, honestly, you could pull back 20 yards and call your dad and verify it too, probably if you wanted to. So there's
That
that as
wouldn't-
well.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they've been told the truth.
Yeah, I mean,
That is true.
They're telling the truth as they know it, certainly. So,
Well,
there's
I-
that stuff.
well, I don't like people messing around when I know the Keynome is nearby.
Well, to be fair, the place does need to be fixed. You knew this was going to get worked on. That was what the whole thing has been in from the first place. The building is supposed to get worked on.
It is true.
I mean,
But you just don't normally see things go up that fast.
no.
Yeah, I mean,
At 9 o'clock at night.
Maybe these guys are just really, really efficient.
They have a performance contract.
I think I'll give this guy the nod and just kind of float away, and it'll be like another call in to Leo, because it's like,
I'm disappointed I
Yeah.
can't center this text. It's very, very sad.
and it's just like, hey Leo, so there, everything looks like it's on the up and up, but this was way too quick, and you remember the Keynome?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of here. Ish.
Like, okay, so you said everything seems like it's normal and in good shape?
Well, I mean, they filed the right paperwork, but
I'll be right back. Actually, AFK.
okay.
Did you just BRB AFK him? Is that what happened? I didn't quite hear it.
I think Bill is indisposed at the
Oh,
moment.
Bill is BRB AFK. I thought maybe he was. Harry, and I'll have to check on this. This is since the test stuff. Pizza's done, and it's been about an hour and a half. Where are you? Say at the movies with A10.
Hanging out with people, talking. 10 probably.
So
All right, I had to play. I had to step away. I'm sorry about that.
no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm just checking in with Harry to see where he was at. So you're kind of just hanging out with like sort of with the irregulators. They just keep calling themselves that to kind of let it sink in.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'm trying to think where that would be, but it's probably I don't know. Where are you hanging out? I'm going to ask you, so I don't have to come up with everything.
Is the pizza shop open?
Well, the pizza shop's still open, sure, if you weren't inclined to ever have left. The Fat Man one that you guys were at in the first place.
We are teenagers. There is food and less movement involved.
You
We
guys-
definitely stayed.
Not a movie? Not a. Because TK kind of wants to get out of here. His clothes are starting to smell like food, and that apparently is some sort of glitch for him. Like it really starts to bother him after a while to have his clothes smell like food. Let's go to a movie. Let's go find something to watch or something. Like most of us can fly, and the ones that can't, whatever. And then, Alloy hits him. Come on. There are no available cute boys here. I want to go someplace.
It's starting to sound like a power pony.
Yeah. They were. Please.
You.
No, seriously, if those two entities ever come into the same place at the same time, the sheer frisson,
By their powers combined,
they would actually form an entirely new Voltron-like super entity that's ready to do a mani-pedi and criticize your clothing choices.
It's happening.
It's happening. You think about that. I'm just going to throw that out there for right now because I need to know where I'm going to interrupt you later. Leo, while you were getting this whole thing, it went up really fast. I don't know if it seems like they got the paperwork in place. Oops, sorry, super loud.
So Leo's concerned if everything's going very smoothly, then that means trouble. So he's going to get on the way. I'm going to say that he and Arya were driving around, the three of them with Otto and her, and him talking about like what just happened. They do this thing where they'll periodically brief each other on what's happened. So he's kind of giving them the rundown on what the deal was with Stingray, and they're talking through this whole thing of, well, we need to federate with other teams. Let's hash out a plan. So they're just kind of talking that.
So
he's on the road.
You're just like sort of cruising the loop and brainstorming.
Yeah.
I like it. I did some of my best thinking driving up and down the same main street over and over and over again when I was a teenager. I respect and recollect. Okay, so you kind of I was wondering if you were like back at the Gale place or at the Quill compound or anything like that. So that tells me that, and we'll get you back over. So you start headed that way. Adam, while you're waiting, he says he's on the way. Are you doing anything? Are you just gonna kind of hang out? Are you what?
Well,
I mean, you can try stealthy. You could. You've never tried it before. It might work out.
I mean, it's not trespassing if they're extraordinary senses, right?
I suppose not. That's certainly possible. So
basically all Adam's wanting to do right now is just sort of like find out who's in, like find out who's inside, find out, like, make sure no one's nervous, angry, murderous intent.
Sure.
I don't know.
All that kind of stuff. Why don't you give me an assess the situation then?
I am perfectly fine with that right now.
Cool.
Even.
Oh.
Ooh.
I am not okay with that.
Wow, it's making my roll look good.
When a boy gets hit in his superpowers.
Wow.
I might be a little distracted.
You think? Okay, so let me just look at that real quick.
I'll mark my potential, and
That seems just, yeah, by all means mark your potential. Okay, that was not. They talk about that. It's like, no, we can totally go with that 6, Jason, because I prepared in advance for that possibility. I didn't prepare for every 6, not all of them, not all at once.
you're gonna get all of them.
All your 6s belong to us.
So I will say at least this much. You don't have anything special that makes your assess the situation work any differently, right? Like any
I
character move or anything?
not a character move.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Closest I have to anything like that is like if I'm. No, that wouldn't even work either. So
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can do this. Okay. So
There are spiders inside.
You
Millions of spiders.
you open up your senses, and I need to get a. Hang on, I need a city map here. You open up your senses, and I will drag you over to this map here in a second. That'll work. I think that'll work. Yeah. Okay. And now the school's not quite here. It's more like down where I'm pinging, kind of. And I'm gonna draw a thing. Anyway, you're opening up your extrasensory stuff, and you're starting to get the school, see if there's anything weird, and you get an energy pulse that lays you out on your back. That kind of comes from. Hang on. It doesn't. All right. I don't know how to draw on this thing. Clearly, I'm bad at it. Does this work? No. How do you draw a line? Oh, wait, there we go. There we go.
with the line tool.
There we go. Click, 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 click. It comes from that direction. Basically. If you had to ballpark it, probably 100 miles, maybe 150 miles away. And it's still intense enough with your senses open like this to lay you flat on your back. Or at least you kind of go, ugh, and when you can focus again, you're laying on your back. And it's possible because you just stopped flying right then for a second and just fell. Or tipped over if you were standing. But yeah, your knees buckled if you were standing, and if not, your flight buckled. And you find, and right about, it's about that time of night when the streetlights are coming on anyway, so it's dusky anyway. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of blinking up at the lights and seeing like spots a little bit from whatever the heck just happened. And you realize that one of the spots is getting bigger and closer and coming down straight at you. And then the black spot says, "Round 2, fight!" And slams into you.
Oh,
As a player, I'm gonna be like, I've been waiting for this because I'm much better at this game than I was last time.
Now, I feel like with the 6 I should start off with a take a powerful blow, but or a condition. But your take a powerful blow has been so good lately. What do you think?
Well,
Speaking as a player.
Speaking as a player, that doesn't mean that like I need to start a power. At that it may just be that I'm at a really bad disadvantage as he like probably jumps on top of me and is standing with all of his bulk on my chest as I am on the ground.
I think between him suddenly arriving and the massive shock that you just picked up physically, I don't even know what the right word for that would be, from somewhere off in the distance, I think those two things have really rocked you. So yes, let's do a take a powerful blow.
Okay. I'll take all the experience tonight. I am okay with that.
A 7. All right, what does that do? Is that like 2 conditions?
Oh,
What does that do? Or is it crap?
I have options.
Right, take a
mean-
powerful blow. Let's go look at it.
On a 7 through 9, you lash out verbally, provoke a teammate. You give ground. Your opposition gets an opportunity. You struggle past the pain. You mark out 2 conditions. I don't think we've ever done this. I'm giving ground.
Okay, all right. You give ground and your opposition gets an opportunity. All right, that works. He's gonna, so he drops, and you don't take a condition from that, right?
Correct.
That's good. All right, so he drops on you, and I mean, you feel the weight, but you feel the weight more like a really heavy blanket, or having your sister lay on you and squish you in bed. Like it's Soul was ready for that much. He almost his feet kind of slide off of you a little bit, and his feet kind of impact into the pavement on either side, and he reaches down, and you hear the cops shouting an alarm. Hey, stop, blah, blah, kind of a little bit. He reaches down and grabs you like by the front of the shirt and you're like, oh crap, I'm going to go through another wall, aren't I? And he kind of whips you. You don't end up going through a bunch of walls because he whips you down the street and you're like skipping off the asphalt.
Pachunk.
And chung, 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 chung. And where is my other? There we go. That one over here for me. And as you're starting to get up, you get kind of rocked back on your heels and, kind of rolling across the ground again from this, like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that on that map. That's the wrong thing. Oh, and of course I draw a line too, because I'm terrible at this. Oh, really? Seriously? Stop that. My God. I'm just going to get rid of the arrow now because it's terrible. All right, let me get back over
when
there.
that happens.
Oh, you know what? I'll leave her on there just because Troll's already there too. So she kind of like, there's some like kind of a light blast thing. Again, it kind of rolls you more than it does anything. But, knocking you back like that has got her, into the game. She doesn't say, she says, just stay down, or run. Running is fine. And Leo, and actually Harry, you are with Alloy and A10 and yourself and Telekinesian and who?
Arminger?
Okay, yeah, sure. I like that. And it's only been 90 minutes since the pizza thing, so you guys haven't actually figured out what you're going to do tonight because it takes that long to actually make a decision when you're a teenager. I say projecting my own life as a teenager. Most of every single night
All
was
figured out though.
It was all figured out just to stay at the pizza joint?
Had a movie figured out.
Oh, a movie figured out. Now, what movie is it going to be?
It's It's a movie called The Rings, which is a parody of Lord of the Rings, but told from the perspective of the One Ring.
Oh, God. Okay. So you're in the theater, and all of your cell phone, you're just about like, you can't help but notice that A10 keeps leaning a little bit closer in her chair next to you. And your cell phone, it doesn't ring, obviously, but it starts vibrating, and it's not like a phone call ring. It's not a text ring. It's like the buzz that your phone gets for an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
And all of you guys kind of like, duh, because everybody's doing that all at the same time. And I'm gonna say
all hands on deck.
I'm gonna say TK is probably the first person who pulls his phone out in the movie theater, despite any dirty looks that might earn him, because Please. Like, that's going to stop him. Dirty looks just strengthen me. And what do you do, Harry, while he's doing and you hear him go, oh, damn. Out, and then people like, shh, he goes, we need to just, he's starting to get up and walk out of the theater, like motioning you along, like, come on. What do you do?
Grab a hold of speeding all of them out to make less of a disturbance.
Speedsters are adorable because they think speeding out of a room makes less of a disturbance. That's awesome. And Otto's getting the same thing. Like, Leo, I am getting a news blast on basically every channel. And it's not about whatever's going on at the high school.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, hell.
It's hang on. I'm gonna get it on the backup camera screen. 1 second. Actually, what he mutters under his breath is game loading. Please wait. Oh, here we go. Harry, this is what's on your phone too.
Oh crap.
Oh.
Vyortovians, round 2.
That puts them. Let me see. This map is super difficult, but I peered at it long enough today that I'm pretty sure. Here we go. Let me ping. Halcyon City's right about there.
I love that there's still snow on the ground.
Don't you? Yeah. Halcyon City's right about there. That's DC. Just to give you context. All this brown right there is DC. So, and yeah, Halcyon is right about there, give or take. So yeah, news blasts all over the place. League's already issued some sort of thing. There's air warnings. There's an Aegis alert. Citizens, any civilians, please return to your homes in the event of some. They're at least as close as they were the last time that they assaulted during the winter thing. Just barely off the oceanic shelf, blah, blah, blah. And you would imagine probably the alerts are going up and down all the way up to, New York down as far as Atlanta probably, given the proximity. So. And you come around the corner. Otto brings you around the corner next to the school, and you see this sort of blast of light that rolls at him kind of sideways on the street. So you're seeing you're seeing this chick kind of up in the air, all glittery and glimmery, and this dude is kind of doing a triple jumper, kind of bounding down the street in your general direction.
Oh, good.
What do you do? What do you have everybody else do? What does everybody do?
Be coincidental.
When
well, on the way there, the moment we see this, we're just going to send out a real quick text, like, come to the school, anyone who wants to fight some supervillains.
Okay, all right, cool.
And we have Arya here, we have Otto here. We're going to do the triple combination because I'm sure they're on board with this as well.
Yeah, Otto is all about going back up against Troll again.
It's been too long, my friends. Let's lay it up.
So I kind of almost see this as like the car like kind of disgorging you two, and the merge kind of happening as you're like almost like going through the air in slow motion.
Oh yeah, and then we are going to come back together, and hopefully, if our prediction is right, Otto's fist will land right where Troll's jumping.
I love it. All right. How about then you give me a directly engaged, and Harry, you get the blast like right not long after the um actually, you guys are probably still using the lead communicators. I don't know what you were using during the practice, but I mean, it's only been an hour or so since the practice. You've still got that stuff. But yeah, basically, what did Link say? There's bad guys back in high school.
Come to school if you want to fight some supervillains.
And A10's looking at Harry. A10 looks at you, goes, are we doing another practice? Is this like
I
round
don't
2 or something?
think so.
Oh. And she kind of like gets this kind of look on her face, and then she grins. Awesome. All right. So
yeah, we're directly engaging, and because I'm charging in without hedging my bets, like I didn't even check on Concord, danger is going up and savior is going down.
Okay. All right. Give me a directly engaged then.
That was 7.
Oh, I didn't look. Sorry. My bad. 7. All right. So
I'm going to resist or avoid blows.
all right. Sounds good. All right. So that is that. Oh, where's my magic folder? Oh my God, my magic folder.
So if Troll didn't see this coming, like he's in for a surprise, and if he did, unless he can change direction in midair, hopefully he'll just have this goofy look on his face, like, "Oh, I remember this."
Yeah.
I didn't like this last time.
But yeah, there is that kind of like slow motion, like he's like, ah, ha, ha, oh no, as he starts to realize what's happening. Where is my little? All right, I'm gonna roll down here. I don't have enough stuff open yet. That's just clearly not enough stuff open yet.
Well, I've got one more for you. It's a GIF in the chat.
Oh yeah, I gotta look.
I do like dynamic entry.
There's a couple of games I've played where it always felt like if you were playing anime, there ought to be a move where it's like if it's your first like introduction move for a fight, you should just get like a +5 to everything. Just because that first move should always be just mind-blowingly ridiculous. Here we go. You've got that GIF. I've got this one.
Saw that one.
Yeah, I know, but I never got a chance to use it.
I was going through my old pictures and
Oh, you found that one? That's funny.
It was originally mine.
Oh, was it? No, I found that one online, but all right. He's going to do. Okay, all right. So he's he has that whole slow motion thing where he's like coming down and realize he's about to impact your fist, and yeah, it's just a full on smash. He goes flying backwards, skids along the asphalt. It's all going. He as he rolls to he actually comes up against like he does the thing where he skids, kind of goes over backwards in sort of a backward somersault. Goes over again, and the second time he like manages to get his feet and he skids a little bit, and kind of comes to rest against like a lamppost, which he reaches back and just rips right off at the base and swings it like he's running forward and swinging it as he goes, but he's swinging it and he's coming through, baseball bat swing style as he's coming in to swing at you, but it's way too long for this, so he's catching power lines, phone lines that are still up. Still power lines mostly in this area. Catching other light poles. So there's like electrical lines coming down and sparking all over the place. There's all kinds of craziness going on there with that. As this is coming down, and he's coming straight back at Linkotoma. Linkotoma? I don't know. You. And Harry, you're running. Get to you in a second. And Jason. And Charlotte. I've got to get back to Jason and Charlotte. Because it's all happening at once.
Jason laughs.
at your dad?
Yes. Or yes, at my dad, who's just made this dire pronouncement. Your damsel in distress has just broken out of jail. Jason laughs.
Have you lost your mind? Actually, he says about half of that. Have you lost your? And he cuts himself off because he's not going to make any more references to your mind until he stops until he stops being the primary reason to feel guilty about that.
Awkward.
So what? Well, if you're not going to do anything about it, I suppose I will. And he's like marching out of the room. What are you doing, Charlotte? What are you doing? Well, this is all happening.
Charlotte actually is off.
Charlotte's
taking
off
a bio break.
That's fine. So Jason, what are you doing?
Looking at the others and saying, we should probably go try to find her before she does something that would be unfortunate.
Want to talk to your dad?
I'm not worried about the talking with my dad.
Numina holds up a big thick book off the shelf, and then she kind of holds her palm out, like towards the desktop, the big conference tabletop, and actually she tosses the book to you. And I've been doing a little light reading while you and your dad have been talking, and she does like a 3-dimensional representation of the sub-basements and tunnels nearby for the thing. And the book is the construction of history of the history and construction of the Federal City Capitol building.
Thank you.
And
that is awesome.
As in, I think here, and she kind of points with her other hand, kind of where that would be, roughly speaking. Also, FYI, this is the coolest thing I've been able to do with this body so far. I am stoked.
It is, in fact, really cool. Thank you.
So, yeah, little 3D kind of deal. And she has like a little blinking dot going kind of where she thinks it should probably be.
Where she thinks the Keynome is?
No, where she thinks...
Where she thinks Alycia is.
Logically, well, there's actually holding cells down there. They're labeled that.
Okay.
So, unruly statesmen and things of that nature, apparently.
The senatorial holding cells. Okay.
It's a different kind of world.
No. I mean, I can believe there are actual ones like that. The Sergeant of Arms escorts unruly senators who have been attacking each other with canes.
Beat each other to
as
death.
has happened.
Yep.
Yes.
Beat each other to death with a table leg. Yeah, sure.
Can I?
Probably.
Fair enough. Shoot, let me get that out of the way.
So, Charlotte, we're back there, and
no, Charlotte is still on a bio.
I heard you say thank you. I didn't know if she was back.
No.
All right. Let me know.
No, I was saying thank you to picking up the Federal City.
Oh yes, because that was awesome. I love that. Not Washington D.C., but Federal City is great.
I'm looking for. I want to. That's not the right thing.
If you had pizza, it smells really, really good. I'm saying to my wife.
You never know when the GM is going to change. Ha 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 ha. Okay.
Hi, I'm back.
All right. So we're Byron went rushing out because Jason's just laughing at him.
Jason laughed at him for his pronouncement. Byron goes rushing out. Numina pulls out the construction history of the Federal City Capitol building. and has noted on the map, which she's projected up in midair,
kind of on the
Keynome,
on the tabletop there.
Where the senatorial holding cells are.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to figure out how to do is how I might figure out. I'm thinking assess the situation would be best, but I don't know quite how that fits in. I want to kind of figure out where.
Jason, come with me. I grab you, and I just pull you through.
I try to take a breath before I sink into the flooring. Okay. Never mind. I won't try to assess the situation to figure out where the Keynome might be stashed. I'll just descend into the earth with Charlotte, as one does.
Okay. All right.
You're speaking. I'd know where to go.
Well,
the cells.
Yeah, she's taking.
Well, actually, no. You know what I want to do?
What's that?
I want to use that link I established with
Alycia
when we were doing the thing with the tech and the possession. Is that
maybe? You can certainly get close. Unfortunately you're working against not only Alycia but also Dave's 4.
Oh, come on.
Well, she does get a bit of a head start. But that'll definitely get you right where you need to be. All right. So, Charlotte, you come out into, looks like a half dozen holding cells, sort of a central room there. The guards are unconscious, probably. The doors are there. Let me see. Alicia's backpack is still there.
Interesting. They oh geez. Okay, there's something quirky going on here. Really? Left her with her backpack?
Well, it wasn't in her cell. It was like in the holding area.
Okay. Even so.
It's been rifled, but there's still stuff in it. You know. Now, do you want to assess the situation? You remember the maps anyway.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to assess the situation. I really want to figure out where Alycia has gone hollowing off to.
Give me a roll first of all. We'll figure out from there.
Well, it's a superior, isn't it?
Is it?
Oh, look, it's my superior again. Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll get a little bit closer.
Took a hell of a time to stop sniffing glue.
It's a hit.
Hey!
You managed to squeak it by with a 7. Okay, then. We got ourselves a 7. We're not afraid to use it. So, if we go back over here to our... Oh, wait, that's peripheral moves. I don't want peripheral moves. Basic moves. When you assess the situation, roll superior on 10 plus S2 on 7, 9, S1. Take +1 while acting on the answers. What here can I blah, 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 blah. What here is the biggest threat? What here is in the greatest danger? What here is most vulnerable to me? How could we best end this quickly? Well...
Leave?
No, we're not leaving.
Go on the other side? No, okay.
I mean, how can we best end this quickly? It's one of those weird open-ended things. I'm tempted to say, what here can I use to track Alycia?
So, as soon as you step through, Charlotte, Jason is like pacing the room. He's going to look. He's looking in each cell until he stops at one and like, it was this one. He's going and looking around. He's looking at the cot. He's looking at the chair. He's carrying around, sort of, almost as an afterthought, her backpack. And he stops in the doorway and he's kind of opening this up and he's riffling through and tossing stuff out. Pulling out, there's like sketches, a bunch of sketches of various things, all that sort of stuff, which I'll get into once I figure out what the heck your question is.
Let's see. Bottled water, handkerchief, secret diary, sketches.
Why would she be leaving that behind?
Love letters that apparently I wrote her 2 months ago. What? The fuck?
Thank you. Okay. I want to see if there's something here that can help me. What here can I use to find Alycia?
Okay. All right. That's easy. It's the pack. In the pack, you've got sketches of the building. You have sketches of the tunnels underneath the building. You have diagrams of where everything is, very clearly labeled. All the same handwriting.
Not Alicia's?
What's that? Trevalicia's.
Not Alicia's?
No, it's not. It's not in Alicia's handwriting. You have a rubber banded together stack of unaddressed, labeled but not like addressed, like they never came through the postal service. You know what I mean? They just have her name on it. In fact, usually not even a name, just an A. On the front, and they're all. I mean, they're all relatively recent, within the last, call it 18 months, probably, just based on paper wear and tear and that kind of stuff and handling. They couldn't be much older than that. They all, and you rifle through them as quickly as you can, but they all appear to be letters written to Alycia from Achilles.
Yeah.
And they're all, my dearest daughter.
Delivered by Chin. I mean, by Hecate.
Unknown. You don't think this is Hecate's writing, or sorry, you don't think this is Chin's writing, because it just doesn't. I mean, I don't know. You've probably seen a diatribe or two, or a taunting note, or things like that.
A taunting note scribbled on the wall.
Right. It doesn't.
We shall meet again, Dr. Quill.
Yeah. It doesn't match his handwriting. It does absolutely match his words. As much as as much as you're able to determine, it certainly seems like that. But it's 18 months probably worth of doom saying, I can feel my very intellect dwindling. I need every assistance. So on and so forth. And it's literally months, if not several years, of one-way correspondence from her father.
Well, it's not like she's going to keep carbon copies of her responses back.
No, of course.
Send anything back.
But there's nothing. The reason I'm saying one way is that none of the letters indicate that
he's heard back from her.
Yeah, there's none of that.
There's none of that. I am in receipt of your letter of 18 February.
Yeah. To answer one of your most burning questions from your last letter, none of that is in there. It's all just more. This is the situation. More instructions. More clues. I've learned this. See if that will do you any good. So on and so forth. And you could go at that kind of stuff for months. Where to go? You need to get to the Keynome. She's clearly going to the Keynome. There's something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
I've seen the tunnels.
And given the diagrams and stuff, you even basically probably know where you need to go to do that. I mean, not just the diagrams that Newman has showed you, but the sketches and stuff that are in there and the thing. If they're even halfway right, you have a straight map to the place. It's actually terribly circuitous and annoying, and she has a head start, but you have the route.
But if we know where it is, we don't have to take the circuitous route.
Well, it depends on the circuitousness is the fastest way there versus avoiding security or something like that.
Just going through walls.
Oh,
stupid.
Well.
He's getting rattled by the Alycia-ness nearby.
Apple tree.
Before he's sucked through a wall, Jason will shout into his comms, "Numina, track my look."
because yeah, she's doing some math up top too. But in this case though, I need Ghost Girl, I need you to do unleash your powers. Do. Which is freak.
Okay. I know.
Get you back over there. Ooh. Oh, okay.
Can you help me out, Jason?
Do I have a choice? if it involves not being trapped inside of a wall, yeah, I will definitely help you out.
Yeah. You wouldn't be trapped inside of a wall. You just like rebound. And
If
wake
I
up
just
in
had my
Pittsburgh.
normal freak, it wouldn't be a problem. But no.
Okay. So you sure you don't want the XP, Charlotte? Are you positive you don't want the XP? You'll wake up in Pittsburgh. It's not that bad. In the other world.
You've obviously never been to Pittsburgh.
I don't want to be in Philadelphia this week either, but
no.
A broken sear landscape, crumbled buildings, despondent people. Oh, hey, we're in Pittsburgh.
We're home. All right. Okay, so Jason, so she's hitting as soon when she starts. It doesn't. Okay, so we talked before about when you shift into the Shadow Realm, it's like 7 league boots. Like
right.
You focus on where you're going, and every step is about the first or second step in the process. She's hitting. You're both hitting a tremendous kind of I don't.
Resistance?
Headwind isn't the right word, but there's like a terrible cosmic wind coming straight from the direction that you're heading toward.
Flying into the Keynome is probably not an easy thing to do.
Fair enough. And that certainly seems to be what's going on here. How do you help with that in this progression? Like, what do you do?
can we back up half a second?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is the Keynome in essence, an
Infinity Stone?
Thinking of like its probability. It's increased.
It's potentially a lot of different stuff. It is a universal variant. It is X for whatever value you need X to be. If you have the ability to do the math.
It's not specific to the whole lack of probability.
No. And this particular one was in the other world, but I mean, it's not like there's been an extensive study of Keynomes on Earth. Nobody had heard of them until, there's a fairly small group of people who even heard the term. And you guys hadn't really come up to it until issue 10.
So it's a tool. It's not a key.
Mm-hmm. There is no. It doesn't logically make sense to say it's not anything because it can literally be anything. Do you need it to be a key? Sure, it's a key.
It's not it's not opposite of the Sepiaverse.
No.
It's infinitely more.
Right.
Can I give this a shot?
Sure.
The Keynome, as described, is an ill-defined cosmic artifact of great power. If you want to put things in tiers, it's basically like a tier 1 item, and the Sepiaverse effect is tier 2. So, or lower.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this one Keynome by itself is not enough to offset everything that's happening in the Sepiaverse because it's literally not everything that's happening on this world. It's stuff that's happening. It's the whole dimension is tapped out. It's not like Earth in this place sucks, but someplace else in the galaxy it's not that bad. It all sucks.
Yeah.
It's
just but here where this Keynome is fine.
Yeah, where the Keynome is
yeah, I get it. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't, only specific to this problem here, which it's not. It can be, but it's not.
No, yeah, and whatever Byron has been doing has been sort of pointing it in the direction of addressing the local shittiness. If for those of you, and this is an analogy I just came up with, so don't hold me to this, but for those of you who have read the Dark Tower series, it's the rose, or a rose. It's a place of less shittiness in a world of general decline. But there's a lot of we talk about the potential being leached out of this world. It's not just that like there's a lot of wars and stuff like that. The reason the light is weird is that the sun is literally dying. The light
Right.
is weird because the sun is bigger, like substantially visibly bigger and the wrong color from your sun.
Right. No, I get it.
Stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff. But at this point in time, in the part of in the layer, I guess, of reality that you're in, you're basically stepping into kind of a blizzard and trying to walk straight into the wind.
So do I have a means as she's dragging me through here of communicating with Charlotte?
If you're touching, sure. And I imagine you would be.
Charlotte, have you ever sailed a sailboat? There's ways to tack into the wind.
So you're saying come at it at angles.
Come at an angle, kind of, tack back and forth. Try to use the force where you can, and advance toward it rather than just trying to plow straight into it and overpower it, because that doesn't seem like a likely thing to be able to do.
Okay.
So
I've watched boats in the harbor.
Yeah, sure. And you've heard,
And I've sailed, so if need be, I can maybe try to, as she's grabbing on my wrist, I can kind of try to lean one direction or another.
Well, and the mental image of it and that sort of thing will certainly easily push you up to 7. So at a 7, when you're using Unleash Your Powers, this is a either it takes something out of you, or it is, well, temporary doesn't really work, but unstable, and well, temporary could work, I guess. But it's either it takes something out of you to do this, or it's temporary or unstable in some way. And the temporary or unstable would just, you wouldn't, honestly, from the fiction.
I think it's more of a it takes something out of me. It makes more sense.
It could be either way, because the temporary or unstable, basically, it's just like you can't get that close to the thing. It's just, it's you're trying to walk into the nuclear reactor kind of thing. It's just, it could kick you. It would impossible to approach it any closer than X. As you're getting closer. So either one, totally makes sense. It's up to you.
I think it makes more sense for to take something out of me.
Okay. So what condition does dealing with this thing do? Is it scary? Is it make you angry?
It's either going to be angry or insecure, and I think that just with all of the negative energy from upstairs, I'm going to lead towards angry. I'm just so tired of this crap.
Love it. Okay.
If you guys hadn't been arguing for 20 hours, we would have taken care of this. In my head, I don't say that out loud because I wouldn't.
It's not been 20 hours. He glances at his watch. Oh.
It's been a lot more than the 2 hours that you were sure it wasn't taking. Anyway, all right. Harry, you guys come out in. Oh, you know what? I've got a thing. 1 second. I'll give you one more image before we jump to Harry. If I've got it here somewhere. Too many folders. That's not it. Where'd all my pretty pictures go? Range by whatever. Oh, I'm not seeing him now. Great. Awesome. Let's see, put him some. Oh, I bet I know where I did. Hang on. Sorry, my bad. There we go. Get you really close to this thing. There we go. That'll work. That's at least what's at the center of the big space that you're in.
Okay.
We're going to take that out of the way for now because it's the wrong map. Okay, so Harry.
Sense where Alycia is?
She's in the room. We'll get to that in a second. Harry, you are racing. A10's doing a fair job keeping up with you because she gets to go in a straight line a little bit more than you do. And you guys are coming up on. It's weird because there's like quite a few of the lights are up on all the like high school ground lights are up, like the football field and the lights around the building and stuff like that. You're seeing like construction wrapping around the thing. You also see some pretty bright flashes of light on the street right nearby. That's probably where your people are at. What do you do?
I make my way towards the bright lights and...
Okay, that appears to be this individual who, as near as you can tell, is in some sort of bodysuit and has like mirrored bits melded into her body, or her body is melded bits, or something.
It's weird.
A little shaky on the particulars there. What do you do? She's mostly she's just sort of blasting like these beams of light down at Concord and kind of keeping him like back on his toes for a second. He seems mildly distracted about something. Not entirely sure what there.
Go in to protect Concord.
Why did that open up? I don't know why that opened up. Go in to protect Concord. Okay, so you're gonna like get in there and what does that look like? Like how are you protecting Concord? Throw something at her, like blast dust in her face. Throw A10 at her. Probably not that third one.
I don't know.
Fastball special.
I might like it.
Say that again. Say that
I
again.
don't know if A10 would appreciate that.
No, probably not. What do you want to do to give Harry an open, or give Concord a breather here?
And hit her?
Okay, if you're hitting her, that's one thing. That's fine. By all means, do that. I'm just saying that's not defending Concord.
Fun that way, but they both amount to the same thing.
Yes, except that's not the same stats that you're rolling, is what I'm saying.
Insecure, so.
You're insecure? I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I know what that means, but...
Defend. So
hitting her to distract her from Concord.
Yes.
Or putting yourself somehow between Concord
well, I mean,
and her.
Punching her is certainly going to get her attention, so, you've got that going for you. Alternately, I mean, defending could just as easily be picking up Concord and moving him somewhere too. Getting him out of immediate like line of fire, that kind of thing. So you can leap up and do one of those, speedster long jumps that ends in a punch to the face, or grab Concord, move him out of the way.
you were saying that we weren't punching our problems.
I'm saying that I already solved that problem to my satisfaction by punching Soul. I've already
But
punched somebody in their
possibly go
superpowers.
wrong by punching the villain.
That's fine, by all means. But I'm not telling you not to. I just want to make sure which thing you're doing.
While hitting her.
All right. So.
That is exactly what could go wrong.
All right. So wait, you don't roll freak. You roll danger. Sorry, roll danger.
No, I want to protect him.
Well, that's fine, but you don't roll freak for that either.
Oh, what the?
See?
Woohoo!
That's actually
My dice hate me.
that's a very good. What are you talking about? That's a 10.
-1.
Well, it's a -1 because you're bad at danger.
Being unpredictable.
Your dice are unpredictable. Yes, that's actually their point. It's totally fine. All right, so you get a full hit. So, after 24 sessions, I believe Mercury finally punched somebody. No,
I punched Ghost Heart.
Oh, that's right. You punch Ghost Heart. All right, so basic move, directly engage. We need directly engage threat on 10 plus. Pick 2. On the 7-9, pick 1. You can pick 2 things off the list there. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies, or impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. Pick 2.
I'm going to
if you do
create
not,
an opportunity.
all right. If you don't pick resist or avoid their blows, then this is a trading of blows, and you'll get hit too, or hit as well.
Okay.
Just making sure that you understand that before we.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So create an opportunity. Was that the first one? Are you gonna?
James, we lost
Going
you.
for resist or avoid, just because.
That makes sense. You're a
Thing to do.
well, and you're
And fictionally, it makes sense. If you're coming in hot and fast, then fast it's probably not going to get a counterattack against you. So it just kind of makes sense from how you narrated it.
Yep.
Well, and your desire to talk with my mic down so you can actually hear me.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, you kind of do the whole speedster like we get a lot of slow motion shots in this fight. CGI crew is working overtime in this particular scene, and you're coming up, and she does fire a blast. Like you see her turn towards you and fire a blast, but you do like your last little spring off of the roof of a car or something like that puts you just a little bit enough to the side that the blast misses, leaving all the fanboys to wonder if you are actually faster than the speed of light. Since this was a blast, and that would be a light-based attack, and he dodged the light, which would theoretically be impossible unless he were actually reacting to the light as though. Anyway, and you club her and knock her back into like somebody's like hurricane fence that blocks off their backyard. And she kind of vanishes from view back there. Concord, what do you do?
Well, since Harry was so nice to set up an opportunity here.
Yes.
Um,
And she is very much off your case at this point in time. She's not even visible. Like.
Well, here is the question.
Okay.
Is it possible for Concord to fly up and bubble her?
Possibly. She got a move. She had a villain move that triggers automatically when she takes a condition. And
okay, so my opportunity wasn't like a hit.
You have if you want that opportunity, yes. I mean, but you could have. I mean, basically the opportunity is you're open up, and you've got nobody on you and can kind of do what you want. Her thing is that she's got okay. if I can pull aside the GM curtain for a second, her insecure move that she went with was recede into the background, and she has invisibility as one of her powers. So
Got it. So I
between
cannot
those two things,
find her
well,
easily.
I'm not saying you can't find her. There's probably a
No,
roll involved for
easily.
sure. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you could
So in
definitely
that
ruin her
case,
escape if you wanted to, but there's some rolls involved.
Oh, so she's leaving.
You know, she doesn't like getting
Glass
punched.
cannon?
She doesn't like getting punched. She hasn't had an opportunity to get punched before, and she's decided she's not a huge fan.
Huge fan
all
of
right.
it.
Let's see. Does Leo have a handle on Troll right now?
Yeah. Troll's making the whole area kind of dangerous. There's power lines down. He's, swinging wildly and just generally making the whole area quite a bit more dangerous for anybody else. Like, I mean, there's cords coming down that possibly the cops down the street are going to be in some danger and stuff like. So there's some stuff happening there. But I mean, if you were a betting person, you would quickly put down a significant amount of folding money on Link. There's not really any question there. It's just a question of speed. But you also have to think that these guys are here for a reason. They just didn't randomly drop on you. So what are they doing here, and why are they fighting you guys?
Well, if that were the case, we know Troll is probably going to disappear. So yeah, Adam's going to go look for this person who disappeared on him. Because I'm sure, like, the panel would be him, like, flying up over the fence, and it's like, nobody's there.
All right. In that case, give me an unleash your powers.
I am definitely, I am feeling my superhero-ness by engaging this way. I feel.
Oh, okay.
I want to use my mask move to swap my.
You're gonna swap real quick.
Uh-huh.
So you're dropping into full Concord mode. Tell me, what do you say? Like, what do you like? Give me a Concord agent announcement of like something, criminal surrender kind of thing as you're, dropping into mode here.
Oh, jeez. It's probably something like,
Lesser beings of chaos, cease and desist.
we are Concord, agent of the Concordance. Cease and desist.
All right. All right. So yeah, give me, so you swap and then give me the roll.
And then nobody. Huh.
And then nobody?
Yeah, that was. He would probably do that announcement, see nobody, and be like, huh.
Oh.
And then look around.
Yeah. Freak. Full hit. All right. So that was. All right. So she can make herself invisible or transparent, but that's certainly not absent all aspects of the spectrum, especially some of the stuff that you see. So you're definitely seeing a lot of fear and insecurity coming off of like a human-shaped space that is scrambling, from that backyard into somebody else's backyard, or actually just lifting up over the fence, because she can't fly. So, what do you do?
I think this is definitely where Concord's going to go ahead and bubble her.
Okay. All right.
And would that be a directly engage, possibly?
I think probably directly engaged, because it'd be taking something from her ability to escape. Go ahead and roll.
Let's see if I do better than my last time rolling this. So
directly
engage, roll number 2.
And you start to do it in Concord. Our Soul's already kind of coached. He's
Nope.
like, no, you need to focus through the. We really need to practice this, Agent. We need to practice this when it. All right, so Gah. Alrighty. So
There ain't no boosting that one up.
there's
I-
no getting that back up.
I can boost it by 4, but actually 4 would do it. But
2?
no,
Yeah, I mean, if everybody helped.
if Link helped, if Harry helped, if I somehow used Team selfishly, if I took a condition to game face, that's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, it's probably better spent elsewhere. Yeah.
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 All right. So she's actually, you just kind of stop in midair and just kind of focus and say, okay. And you're an immobile target. When the bubble starts to form around her, she whirls in midair. And you can see her. The shimmer drops away and she just fires a blast straight into your chest. Twice in one session?
That's not
God,
very nice.
I'm such a dick. Take a powerful
No.
blow.
I got this. Oh, hold on. No, I was like, oh yeah, mark my potential.
I'm just gonna punch you into leveling. Oh, dude. Oh. Nice roll, I guess. Not really.
I think it's very cruel that is inverted.
GMs don't roll in the game, so it's.
No, I mean that it's like
It's inverted because it's functionally me rolling against you, so a high roll is good for me.
still be the other. It's
Yeah.
just cruel to
It
make
is.
you want to wish for a low number. That's just wrong.
Well, it's how it allows it to scale based on how many conditions you have.
Yeah.
Because then you'd be like subtracting, and that's not great.
I do know people who have run similar games that when this is how and they don't all work this way, but in games where they do work this way, sometimes the GM will be the one that rolls the condition thing, so at least the GM rolling against you, so that you know that it's good when the GM rolls low, and it's not as confusing. But generally I only roll when we're doing the forum stuff, and it's going to be a lot faster than having to go back and forth going, okay, roll, then you roll and post it, and then I say, okay, this is what happens, because it just makes everything slower. Okay, so we are looking at take a powerful blow, which is a peripheral move, and this time it's a 10 instead of the 7. Where did it go? Oh, I guess it is a basic move, isn't it? Whoops.
It is. So.
And I'm terrible at clicking on the right thing. Oh my god. All right. Take a powerful blow on 10 plus. Choose one. Remove yourself from the situation. Flee. Pass out. You lose control of yourself or your powers. Oh, terrible way. Or 2 options from 7 to 9.
I have 2 thoughts here.
Uh-huh.
Mostly, every time these things happen, I'm like, what are the options we have never chosen? There's so many options. I mean,
we did lose. It's funny. Lose your control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way is what originally introduced the Sepia-verse. That was Harry.
Yep. Thanks, Harry.
And your dad.
I don't know that he would sound any more grateful if you remind him of that part either, to be perfectly honest.
So, unless anyone has a... actually, Doyce, I'll ask you this. Do you have a good idea for lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way?
I mean, she's hitting you square in the chest. There may be some weird...
I'll take that as a no.
I mean, yeah, unless it would like temporarily separate you from Soul and you just revert to Adam and drop into the middle of the backyard, probably not.
Oh hell yeah! I'll take that. That would just give me 2 more potential. That's exactly what I need right now.
Why would that give you 2 more potential? Oh, your secret identity exposed or something?
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, she probably isn't even going to stick around though. She would. I don't know that she'd actually see that because she would just run.
No, I think I'm gonna go with oh geez, these interact really weirdly. Okay.
Do you want?
So-
Well, I'll tell you what. I can just hit you and then go on to the next person while you process.
I've also got a suggestion if you don't have something baked.
Well, I was gonna. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Is I was going to say. Okay. Okay, so that's how that works. I had to check the peripheral moves to actually see how that worked out.
Okay.
So it would be, take 2 options from the 7 to 9 list,
Okay.
lash out verbally,
Okay.
and I think this is going to be,
The
You know,
provoke thing.
no. I think this is going to be Adam using his influence here. So I think we're going to mark off Link's influence because Adam leans upon him really heavily, and it's going to be, Link, I need your help.
Okay. So.
And then also give ground. Opposition gets an opportunity.
Okay. So are you using your influence to inflict a condition? Is that what you're doing?
I believe that's how that works.
Okay. God, we've never done that. You're right. And nice job,
Yeah.
really, for picking up a thing that we haven't done, because that's pretty cool.
And it fits the fiction right now because I bet Adam isn't exactly feeling the most secure after what happened earlier.
Okay. So yeah, you get knocked back. Give an opportunity, sure. Okay, so where I need to find the thing with the influence thing. Influence.
It's under influence. It's the second bolded thing when you take when you take advantage of your influence over someone. Surrender the influence you hold over them, and choose one.
Inflict a condition on them. Take an additional +1. Okay. All right. So, and you give it the opposition an opportunity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, Link, what condition would you take if you hear Concord yell for help?
I'd probably say guilty because I charged in directly, as mentioned, without even checking on his status.
That really,
Ooh.
that totally makes
That's
sense.
a good one.
I really like that. I feel like, okay, given the opposition an opportunity, I feel like between him calling for help and the fact that you're in the middle of a thing with, you're in the middle of a thing with a troll. You either have to kind of, well, I don't know. I feel like that would give him a free shot at you, but or possibly at Otto if you like disengage and like, kind of like spin out of that link. Like he's going to get a shot at Otto while you're disengaging or something like that, or just at you. With that, I feel kind of icky about that because that's just me hitting you with another condition. I don't love that idea.
Well, what fictionally are you thinking of happening?
Oh, well, I'm thinking of like the hesitation and you like being like just for a moment try like, do I go back? Do I flatten this guy and then go? Kind of thing leaves you open to something. Now, if you act super quickly, that might instead leave Otto sort of flat-footed when Troll unloads on you, that kind of thing. But if anybody has suggestions, please holler.
I was about to say, acting super quickly sounds like Harry's deal. So maybe it might be like, hey, Harry, Link's looking over at Concord and Troll's going to get a hit in there unless you do something. What do you do?
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, too. Okay. So, yeah, we'll let this ripple effect go. So Link takes a condition guilty, and that leaves him hesitating and just for a moment, really not just you, but Otto, Numa, all of the Newman family kind of has a kind of protective attitude towards Adam in general. So there's that moment of hesitation, and Troll's swinging. There's power cords like literally hanging off of his light pole and everything, and he's just wide open. Harry, what do you do? I like that. Thank you. Mike. I like that a lot.
It's all about just upping the drama on everybody.
Think I'll go in and take that shot that kindly left me.
Are you gonna charge in a troll, knock the pole out of the way? What are you specifically doing? And I'm asking this mostly to kind of figure out which move it is, but are you charging it
Probably the pole.
and just doing something there to kind of get that? That's totally cool. Roll Savior. That'll defend Link from what's going on. Or won't, depending on what the dice roll is.
Huzzah!
Let's find out.
Rock on.
I didn't get to see it.
Not dead yet.
All right.
It was a 10, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I had to get a bunch of screens out of the way. All right. So on defend of a 10, NPC threats. You keep them safe and choose one.
You repulsed the attack.
So is it about the pole, or do you move Link, Otto, Numa, or do you
I don't think it's possible.
do you trip up Troll so that the pole goes wide? What does this look like in keeping Link from taking this hit? Which is that?
I think probably. You said he was like swing
Yeah, he's like baseball swinging at it.
at the same time.
Say that again?
He like doing a running swing.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to take the cords and like so that he trips over them.
That totally works. Sorry, I'm having to mute because I'm in a room with potential feedback. But yeah, that totally works. So he kind of gets tangled up in it for a time. It doesn't totally, it's not going to immobilize him or anything because that's not really how defend works. You can feed team into the pool. You can clear a condition, or you can take influence over Link. Or Numa or Otto if you want to.
I am going to put team in the pool and remove insecure because
I'm not sure if you get 2. Do you get 2? You only
10.
get, yeah, but 7 to 9 doesn't give you any. I think you just pick one. On a hit, you keep them safe and choose. Oh, I'm sorry. On a hit, you keep them safe and choose one. On a 7 to 9, it costs you. Oh yeah, so yeah. On a 7 to 9 or a 10 or higher, you keep them safe and choose one. The difference is on a 7 to 9, it also potentially hurts you. So you only ever get to select one thing off the list for defend. It's just, you don't put yourself in danger as well.
I'm going to say clear a condition if you can.
Clear insecure since.
Perfect.
It fits.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so Jason, Link, Link, what do? You're leaping back over in the direction of.
Oh, I got one better. So we have this flying woman who's apparently got some kind of like mirror or reflective tech going on. This is at a glance, did it look like she was technological in nature?
Yes.
Okay, great. We have all these power cables around without worrying about what's going to happen next. Otto will snatch a bunch of them up and rocket punch them at her, trying to electrify her in midair.
Okay, so it's kind of over the house. I think you haven't only done the one attack, so I'm going to get you to do this really quick first. So give me a directly engage. You're actually kind of rocket punching up over this like house that's between here and the backyard where you're at, but it's terrifying. I love it. Go ahead.
All right, and we're once again going in with hedging our bets. Like, I'm not worried about Troll. I figure Harry has it.
Are you shifting your danger up again? This is why bulls are scary, because if you stay in the fight more than a couple of like exchanges, Their danger's maxed. And there you go.
All right, so I'm resisting or avoiding blows, as indicated. If I can take something from them, like access to one of their powers or their ability to fly or disappear or something like that, something shorts out, in other words, I'll go with that option.
I think Will can short out her flight for sure. And
Good luck.
Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So when she drops to the ground, and yeah, the shock is just like, ugh, and she like does the dance in midair kind of a thing. She collapses, and there's a little bit of smoke coming off of her. She's on like her hands and knees a little bit, and she gets up like one hand's like, I give up, surrender, don't kill me. Ah, that's what happens there. Jason, I gotta get that picture back. So you're in this big kind of underground space. It's clearly been extensively retrofitted. From if this is even kind of meant to be the same room or the space that you saw in the security footage, it's clear. Whoa, grab the wrong thing. Get that out of the way. Seriously?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
What did I do? Or what's interesting?
Oh, just
I moved it
Very-
I moved it by accident and messed up all the pictures and everything.
no, it's interesting. I hadn't quite put together where we were versus the scenes in the Aegis footage that I saw. So
Yeah, it's all of the structure and stuff, although it's clearly been retrofitted and rebuilt a number of times since then. But it's the crap that they built up around the Keynome. Except it's
what is the crap? I'm sorry. Is this crap that who's built up around the Keynome?
Byron
Let me
and
ask if.
Chen.
Okay.
They were doing stuff with it, and now before it was to tap off and drain off the energy to keep the thing from doing. But since then, remember he said we've been leveraging this thing. You thought it meant just like, oh well, it's just sort of like doing an underground sunshine thing.
Yeah.
It just exists, and we're like, no. They're legitimately trying. They're like, yeah, they're trying to feed this thing into the emotional power grid of the area somehow. They have it wired up.
Yeah, because clearly that general sort of tactic caused no problems for this particular universe previously.
You do see the silhouettes of Alycia, who's rather energetically arguing with another silhouette. In the room and gesturing at this thing, and he's
So it's a he.
Well, yeah, it certainly seems to be male. It certainly seems to be Achilles' chin. So
okay, that just
Yes.
that's
he's not. No, it's not arguing. She's not.
at this point it could be Rusty. It could be Dad.
She's
it
not
could be,
having. She's not having a conspirators spat with Rusty. That would
it
be.
could be Sepia Leo. It could be any number of things. Go ahead.
Sepia Leo is in like South Korea right now, trying to rebuild Southeast Asia. No, I don't know where. I don't know where Sepia Leo is. Leading an army of robots.
Right behind you.
Right behind you. Ugh. All right. What? Well, actually. Well, what do you do?
So they're like standing right in front of it, right next to it.
Yeah,
right next to a giant knife switch.
Well, this picture is bad because it's looking down at it.
Okay.
So rotate this thing rotate the camera, bring the camera down about 85 degrees, so you're on floor level, and it's big, and they're standing in front of it and gesturing emphatically.
Gesturing, energetically.
Right, and you're inside the room and probably back about. I mean, you have to be back a little bit of ways because there's not really much in the way of useful shadows anywhere near the thing. But yeah, you're back like, I don't know, 25, 30 feet, maybe, I don't know, 10 yards. What is that? Actually, as you kind of step out of the thing, you see like the arguing and everything like that, and you actually see Alycia notice you.
Actually, I was going to actually ask you something. Like,
go ahead.
If I'm holding on to him, can I intangibility, or is that in the transition through
if you're holding on to him, you lost me on the intangibility thing. I lost a part of what you were saying.
Yeah, you're fading in and out. I think she was asking, is the intangibility, as she's pulling me through, does that continue to convey to me?
My abilities is density control.
I don't know. That's kind of, I mean, you define the powers, so I mean, can you make somebody else? You can take somebody into shadow. I don't know if that's the same thing as the wall thing, but I mean, maybe you can take them through a wall? I don't know. What do you think?
It sounds like we just established that that's what they were doing, so.
Oh, I thought they were going through shadow, but yeah, I mean.
I was specifically hearing Margie say through walls, so.
Okay, yeah. So
I thought it was through walls as well.
So if the intangibility is still basically in effect.
But if over there decides to go off and let go of my hand, then that drops.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So she spots me as they're arguing, but continues the argument.
She glances your way for a second, but she's, I guess if anything, her gestures become more emphatic.
Well,
Can I get close enough to hear what she's saying?
In this room, I mean, you'd have to be standing right next to him. It's literally like being in the room with like a turbine,
I'm thinking of like doing something a little bit like I did with the box and coming from under them, but
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interference from the thing itself, but I mean, you could certainly try and do. I mean, you're not going to hear him through the wall. It is like crazy noisy, basically, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
The being in this room is, yeah, pretty loud. They're shouting each other half because they sort of need to be. Whatever Byron's doing with this thing is not the same kind of thing that you were seeing with the other deal. There's a lot more. I mean, he can't be doing something as crude as just like using it as a
Got it.
But it feels like, I mean, there's a lot of spinning machinery in there. It just seems like a crude application of the thing. But anyway.
Well, the tech level available for him is maybe not all that great.
Yeah.
Man, if they're using the Keynome as their generator, this is going to be disappointing for Byron Quill.
Yeah.
What if this is Sepia Byron?
Well, Sepia Byron.
Well, we know the story that was told about.
Sepia Byron is dead.
According to Sepia Byron is dead.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible.
I'm a true Byron. Trust me in all things.
Just Sepia.
I mean,
it's beginning to rub off from Jason to Charlotte.
All right. So.
Okay. I would like to. God, it's all freaking. I want to pierce the mask on Alycia. I was going to shout out to her because not only is it almost dramatically required, but
It's not. You could
It
shout
seemed
out.
like it would be the right thing, but since she has spotted me and is continuing to argue, I need to know what's going on with her. So I want to try to do a pierce the mask on
Okay.
her to just get a sense of, is she trying to argue Achilles down from detonating the Keynome? Is she, trying to say, no, if we do it this way, it'll be more effective in destroying all life on Earth?
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead and give me a roll. It's I think that's
mundane.
That's mundane, yeah. Everybody wants mundane right now. This is
Oh, crap. Really?
great. Your dice, man. It's just the worst right now.
I'm a freaking +2 on mundane. I
Oh.
still rolled a 7.
I have to say I'm super touched though that Mike actually came up with a customized Jason Quill concern picture though.
Oh God.
I mean that's just
It was
Aw.
gonna happen. I knew it was.
that's so good.
Oh God, I need to set that up on a macro.
That is so good.
Thank you, sir.
That is so good. Just a little bit of a hint of the cue. It's really
Oh
good.
yes, it is truly perfect.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Concern. All right, so
so-
a 7 gives you pierce the mask and get back over here. And
Here's the mask. With a 7, I get to ask 1.
What are you really playing? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? These are all rich with potential.
Yeah, they're all exactly the questions that I want to ask.
How could I get your character to X? How could I gain influence over you? You already have influence over us. Don't ask that.
Yeah. Okay.
Flip side being she has influence over you.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, I'm gonna lead with the heart here because
Okay.
it would be wrong to do anything else. So even though my initial impulse was to like try to find out what she's really planning, I want to figure out, since she has spotted me, what she wants me to do.
Okay. So
Up and die.
Stand there so I can remember you as you were. Yeah.
Best name for a hairdresser I have ever seen.
Curl up and die.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh my.
God. All right. Okay. Okay. So she says one more thing, and it's really almost like a barked order at Achilles. And she turns toward you and takes like a step forward and, pulls out a couple of weapons. And as she steps forward, you see that she's actually stepping over a line of that nano goo. That is collapsed again there on the floor. So you can kind of piece together there like how he got in and stuff.
She gave the technology to him too?
No.
Oh man.
No, she opened a portal to bring him in.
Okay. I feel better now.
No one doesn't have your technology, Jason. You included it in every Q phone. I mean,
It's kind of like an STD, Jason. You don't just give it to yourself, to your partners. You give it to your partner's partners.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking with your brain, you have to think with your monkey hat. What?
You have the nanites of everybody who you've shared nanites with in the last 7 years, and everyone that they've shared nanites with.
Anyway, she is stepping over a line of collapsed nano goo,
and she's got this stand
as she's pulling out guns.
Well,
weapons.
Weapons, yes, and or projecting. You're not even sure. They just sort of appear in her hand, so it's really kind of But she's always had that trick. Chin sort of steps behind her enough that she's definitely a thing. Definitely a barrier there. And her whole body language, her facial expression, all of that conveys to you that she just wants you to let her go. And
Just let me have this one little dimension, Jason.
there's
Just this one.
she's not happy about it. She's unspeakably sad about it. But that's the body language there, is like, this is a terrible, crappy situation. She doesn't even, she's not happy about seeing you here. That's honestly the big fly in the ointment, honestly. And somebody is standing right next to you, Jason. Oops, I did that wrong. Hang on. Oh my God, what did I do? That was annoying. Let me get that. Let me try that again. One more time. Whoops, whoops, whoops. There we go. Pulling it up, pulling it up. All right. And standing next to you, flickering, it's clearly one of your bot things, is like an older, worn, mid-30s Alycia, as you might have imagined her. And she kind of...
I don't recall having built one of those,
No,
but, you know,
no,
they all tend to blur together over time.
And she kind of, and you see, and you look, and just out of the corner of your eye, you like see it. It's like, I don't even have time for this kind of, you know, hallucination right now. And she kind of leans a little bit closer to you, and she says, "This is not going to go how she thinks it's going to go."
Is the voice that I hear sort of preternaturally clear for the amount of clamor that's going on?
Oh, absolutely.
So this is old little Alycia kind of in my head sort of a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. It's a different Alycia, another headlicia. And you see Achilles pull out weapons. And he levels one right at the back of Alycia, right at Alicia's back, and one at the Keynome apparatus.
Okay, what can I do? Can I do a defend on Alycia?
Absolutely.
But we're not.
You are forgetting that you aren't the only one here, dear.
Okay, well,
But I have one more thing that I want to point out as a player, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you still have any control over the nanomachines that she has?
Possibly.
That's a really interesting question.
And we also have to remember
that could certainly be a way that I could defend her.
Yes. But and also we have to remember that Charlotte's here. So there are multiple options.
And Charlotte is here.
But in any case, we're not going to do that till next session. Because that's where we're going to stop. Did I kill everybody?
Then.
Did I kill everybody? Oh my God, everyone got quiet.
Hi.
Hello.
Because honestly, if we do anything else, we're going to be here until 11:30. If we do even one more thing.
No, I agree, because somebody's been staying up too late recently.
Dad.
Not just me.
Yeah, probably Dave.
I was gonna say not just me. So.
All right, so we have Charlotte and Jason, Alycia, Achilles.
And somewhere off stage in around this situation, Numina, who I told to track me, she certainly has the opportunity to come in as a
she's been
forgive the term Deus Ex Machina,
yeah,
but
she figured that heading for where she figured the Keynome was is the smartest thing to do, and she's doing that, but she can't go through walls.
True.
No, but she can just go outside the building and fall and fly there. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is, this thing is legitimately underground, so you have to kind of get there through the tunnels, and between dropping,
just knowing that,
yeah.
just knowing she's still potentially a factor in
she's
the
absolutely
things that are going on.
She's absolutely still a factor. In fact, it's killing her that she can't get here right now. Not literally, but it's definitely bothering her.
well, that's all due to Charlotte, so you can thank her.
But yeah, between being able to, like, you guys sort of teleporting three or four floors down, and then skipping all the tunnels and stuff like that, you guys just plain got here a lot faster than she has the capacity to at this point. We have
Alycia.
Glitter Girl is, and that's not her name,
Prism.
is Facet, but
Facet.
she's down in the backyard. Troll is tripped up, but otherwise functional and full of fury. Link standing over top of Facet. Concord is questioning his life choices? No, I don't know. And
Superpower.
This is what
And-
happens when you get punched in the superpowers.
Putting some ice on his superpower.
and Harry is busy pulling a straight up Barry Allen, I'm going to tie up the big bad guy with some cords I happen to have handy. That's where we are. And also, like, A10 probably arriving at this point, and Telekinesia not too far behind, so that might simplify that situation a little bit too. Meanwhile, let's not forget
End of session.
Vyortovia.
Yeah, because those guys never use distractions when they want something.
Exactly.
No idea.
Vyortovia offshore.
Vyortovia offshore. So that's a thing also. Anyway, I have a whole extra image just for that I haven't even got to yet. Anyway, all right. So, who are we going to? I love the fact that my daughter is still using Little Alycia as her call sign on.
Right.
Little Alycia is always watching.
Especially now that we've gotten old Alycia.
They grow up so fast.
Cable Alycia. All right, Jason. I'm just working my way down through the list.
God, always good to me when I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do.
All right, I'll go.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. Crap. I hate to say this. I am going to grow away from the team because I've been really self-focused on
You think?
this drama going on with me. So if Ghost Girl has influenced me over me, I'm going to take it away.
Because you're not listening to anybody.
Because I'm not listening. I'm especially not listening to, paying attention to, or being a good teammate to her.
All right. Do you have influence?
Yeah, I took
All
it off.
All right. Link.
Wow, I haven't had influence over all the boys.
It has been a long while. It's because you're a gentle soul who had never heard a fly.
I'm waiting for her to eat Achilles Shin's face.
Yeah.
So.
That's certainly possible.
I'm actually been toying with a couple of the because remember I still have that advancement in there, so
I'm trying to figure out what to do there.
She's been busy going through all the playbooks looking for interesting powers.
Ooh, I could do that.
seem to fit. Yeah, kind of.
Shopping for ice cream.
Yeah, well, I mean, in sort of that going into your powers kind of.
Link, what's your closer, further away?
Closer to Concord because he put out the call and I responded. I'm clearing guilty because I think I adequately responded to the deal that he had with Facet. That feels like it's taken care of.
Yes, Facet is done for this right now.
So Concord gets influence back over me. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. James, Mercury.
More into the image of myself.
Yeah, you got to punch some people. You got to trip up some people.
Kind of felt like a real superhero.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to second that. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was really
Yep.
good. So shift some labels there. You shift up, one down as you see fit. Your dad's going danger, danger, danger.
Except that he used all of his things for savior. So.
No, he did danger for punching Facet.
Okay.
And he can't raise savior because it's maxed out.
Ah.
It has been for something like 10 sessions because I'm a bad GM. Charlotte.
So I would say more into myself, as much from kind of coming to the CPUverse, confronting and acknowledging my
Who you are.
my history, if you will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool.
Maybe not being the delicate little passion flower.
Yeah. No.
I have to say, grabbing Jason's hand and dragging him through the wall twice was definitely.
I'm thinking, Jason, just come with me. My God.
It's Alycia. He can't think. Yeah,
that's fair.
there's a
Maximum amount of blood in a man's body, and
no. I was gonna say there's like either the programming or a memory bleed, but it just
there's a permanent fault in that particular.
Okay.
RJ, I'm just disappointed that when you pulled him through the wall, you were like, "Not now, Jason."
Oh, you can that in.
I am retrofitting that into the synopsis.
Not now, Jason.
You're
being ridiculous.
I will not say how often that phrase comes up outside of the game in our household.
I figured it had to because Dave has been projecting a lot of frustration about that phrase onto Jason recently, so I figured it had to be coming up with fair regularity outside of the game. All right, so you shift a label up, shift a label down as you see fit, Charlotte, and Concord.
I am torn because on one hand, Harry definitely came and saved Adam's butt, but at the same time, Adam needed a Link, and Link kind of went to go to bat for him. So, yeah. But I think I'm gonna go for Harry.
Okay, so Harry, if you didn't already have influence, and if you already had influence, shift his labels. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, Link plowed right past you to go for Troll, so I think that's the right move.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's pretty good. That's the first time we haven't had like a bunch of give this person who already has influence. We had a little bit of it, but not a lot.
Yep.
So that's pretty good.
Are you kidding? We actually used influence for what it's intended for too, where we blew it for personal gain.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you can certainly use it for, but yeah, that's a really good. What's it? The influence is like you lose the influence and you give them a condition and.
Yeah, so it's a net gain because normally you would be getting 2 conditions. In this case, only 1 condition is getting thrown out to the team.
Right.
You're kind of doing it very mean-spiritedly.
Or at least in desperation kind of a thing. I like the way you did it because the group generally isn't like, at this point anyway, isn't like, I am in hell and it's because you suck. That isn't usually how things lash out. But having a teammate in this team call out in desperation, to imply like, I need your help because there's nobody helping me right now is enough to give a person guilty on this team, which totally works. I mean, functionally speaking. So good stuff there. All right. So that is the thing. All right. That's where I got right now. So yeah, we couldn't get everybody into the same place at the same time. I couldn't figure out how to do it, but we do at least have everybody working on sort of the same thing as all of the bad guys are also simultaneously sort of working on. It's not all the bad guys, but a bunch of bad guys are all working on the same thing too. So you're
Enough
not.
But
of
that
the
makes us
bagels.
feel so good.
Yeah, you're not fighting together, but you are fighting together. Or,
I'll punch troll for everybody. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's fair.
You can punch him twice for me if you've got time.
Yep. And keep in mind, I mean, Jason, I'm just saying, you got moment of truth, man. You're sitting in here in the room with the Keynome. What I really need to do is I need to like damage Numena's casing and have her save your life by putting the Keynome in her chest. That would like no.
What could possibly go wrong there?
Oh. Well, I mean, if anybody wanted to role play the female version of the Vision for the next like 10 sessions, there you go. No, that's not probably how any of this is going to shake out, but certainly that's one way to solve the upcoming problem. That's it. That's all I got, kids. I am. Whew, that was a lot.